Hey there, welcome back to Straight Talk Whiskey. I'm Nick, and thanks for tuning in for episode number 8. Kind of amazing how two months have gone by now. But just a little disclaimer for those of you who are new and just joining us on this review series. We are smack dab in the middle of a Tullamore mini-series. So, as I've laid out here is kind of all the things that we've gone over so far. Now, we started with the standard bottling of Tullamore. Now this you probably haven't seen before in the review because it's basically the same thing, just in a commemorative ceramic jug. It's the same, let me check, yep, 750 milliliters, bottled at 40% ABV, and it is the same whiskey that is in your standard bottle. Just a nice little decanter, and you know, it also masks the color of what's in it, but I mean, it's the same thing. So let's get these out of the way. We did those out of the way. Then next we had our 10-year single malt 4-cask finish, and we did that last week. You can go back and watch that little review if you want. So there goes that, and hopefully none of this falls off the table here. So we're gonna be a little careful about that. So now we move on to the Tullamore Dew 12-year Special Reserve, and this again is going a step up, kind of in the collection. We have two more after this: the Tullamore Dew Phoenix and a very old 12-year that I have from about the 1950s, 1960s. So that will be the culmination of this mini-series. So let's get right into it. Again, you can go back to the older reviews that we've done to kind of get more of the history on Tullamore itself, as well as some other facts on how it's made and that sort of thing. But today we are going to be focusing on the 12-year Special Reserve. Now, as I mentioned last week, it does have the nice, and again, I'll probably put a little picture here on the side, just of the tasting notes to kind of guide you through a session. But again, you know, you want to go through and kind of do a tasting on your own, and then kind of compare what they have on the box there. So, as we can see, get the other bottle here for a second. We have, it's hard to tell, but it's pretty similar colors. I'm not sure if the monitor's going to show up any different on the screen, but to me, it looks pretty similar. So we've also got the upgrade with the nice cork there, which is always pleasant. We've got our glass ready to go, so let's pour a bit. Not too much, because here, Straight Talk Whiskey, we drink in moderation, and you won't be seeing a video from me of, you know, me trying to slam a bottle of Jack Daniels or something that gets, you know, millions of views that other people do. To me, that's pretty stupid, and we don't do that here. We like to take our time, enjoy it, get all the flavors and scents and aromas, and kind of become educated more and more on this entire whiskey universe that we have here. In our whiskey journey, no matter where you're at. If you are a beginner just starting to try out some different things, or if you're a seasoned vet, there's always, you know, something that you can take away from this video series. I know I do every time. I'm always learning something new, which is great because that's what it's all about, really. So, Tullamore Dew, 12 years old, standard 40% ABV. That's why, again, you won't see my little water dropper next to me, because I'm not going to add any water to this. You know, just having this out here now is going to be enough for it to mellow down. You know, it's already had 12 years. Now, granted, it's not the same 12 years that you might have with, say, a bourbon or something like that, which you probably won't see much because, you know, with the warmer kind of shifts in temperature that we have here, especially in the summer months, here in the United States, you know, there's a lot more interaction with the whiskey in the barrel, expanding and contracting with all those different temperatures. But, you know, in Ireland, Scotland, that kind of area of the world, temperatures are relatively and comparatively cooler than they are here. So age a little bit longer in these really doesn't hurt it at all. You know, we don't get any overpowering wood aromas or senses here as we would with bourbon that's, you know, just been aged forever. You know, the first thing that you're going to pick up is probably the wood, depending on, you know, the quality that you're drinking. So with this Tullamore, you'll look on here, you won't see the same forecast finish that we had before with the 10-year here. We had a forecast finish. Again, you can check back and we talked all about those. But this one is strictly sherry and bourbon casks. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. It's the same blend as kind of the standard. It's just aged, obviously, for a minimum of 12 years. Just a hint, in case you don't know, anytime you see an age statement like that that says 12 years or 25 years, that's referring to the single drop of whiskey in here. The youngest it will be is 12 years. So there could possibly be older whiskeys in here. And sometimes you get that with other whiskeys, especially Scotch, and you can say, wow, this kind of tastes older than it is, which is probably because they've blended in some older whiskeys in it. Now, as we talked about before, if you kind of give this, and it's easier with the Glencairn glass, but this works just fine. You can start to see, and it's not going to show up on the camera, but we talked about before the legs. You can see the legs. If you kind of hold it there, you gotta give it a little swirl around. I don't want to spill any here because that would be a shame and a waste. But what you can start to see, and what I'm seeing here, is the legs, kind of the slow trickling down alongside the glass. You'll get that a lot with older whiskeys. So that's kind of just a double check to see. I mean, it's not going to give you a specific year, but you're going to be able to tell if it's a younger or older whiskey. So, color, it's the same. The standard bottling, nice gold. I can't tell that there's any caramel added in here, and if there was any darker color, I probably would have attributed it to, you know, like the bourbon and sherry cask that it was in, but, I mean, don't really see that here, so that's always a nice thing. So, let's go in for the nose. Now first what I get off right in the bat is floral note. It's definitely got some malt characteristics in there, yeast, kind of like freshly baked bread. It also has, what you get is the sherry influence, kind of the lighter fruits, citrus fruits, that sort of thing. I'm also getting some honey, some lemon, which is, you know, pretty standard for Irish whiskey. You know, that triple distillation really helps get a nice, light, aromatic, flavorful sort of nose going on. So that's what I'm getting there. Let's go in for the taste. So yeah, I'm getting more of the bourbon cask influence. Actually, when I taste that, there is a little smoke behind it all, which is interesting because it pairs nicely with these lighter fruits that we get from the sherry cask. Also, sort of the lemon. There's some plum in there. If you really kind of pick at that, like an orange peel, honey, that sort of thing. The vanilla is definitely there. A hint of cinnamon, I think. Yeah, there is a slight dash of cinnamon in there, which is interesting because what you find out is that this is a nice balance. It's a full-bodied flavor, well-balanced whiskey. It kind of goes back and forth between the light fruits sort of thing and kind of the older time-honored flavors that we get here with like the wood influence, vanilla, a little bit of cinnamon like we said, that sort of thing. Very lovely actually. And I know I say that a lot, I don't know why. think what you'll find with this 12-year is that you get a much longer finish. It stays on the palate longer, which, you know, is kind of a main criticism that I hear a lot from these kind of standard bottlings, and it's not always Tullamore, but just kind of standard entry-level whiskeys as it is kind of, you can discern between the different flavors there, but then it's gone. That's not the case here, because what you get is this full-bodied, long-lasting finish, which is really nice. It's not bitter. It's nice and flavorful and creamy. You can get that from the malt, certainly. But just a wonderful sipping whiskey, and it's a great step up. And I got to tell you, I'm not sure about where you live, but when I got this, the price is wonderful, really, for the level of quality that you're going to get here. So. Again, you can sort of taste that plum that I was talking about earlier with the aroma. Sort of green apple, little candy, almost like milk chocolate, but more of the creaminess that you get with that kind of chocolate compared to others. So just really wonderful. So I think for a score, it is fair to give it a straight talk whiskey score of 91 out of 100, and you should applaud me that I actually put that up this week, because I always keep forgetting about it at the end of the reviews, and then have to go and, you know, put one after the fact. So, you know, happy. So that's it for the 1, 2, 3, third review of this mini series on Tullamore. I hope you'll stick around for more. Enjoy the week. Let's hope it warms up around here. But we'll see you again next week, and until then, have a good one.